Alright everybody, welcome back to Just James Games. Here we are at Dr. Wily's stage, part 1. Yeah, it's our favorite indestructible lovelies. These guys I never really figured out how to defeat easily. They take a ton of hits, and I believe I tried all of the weapons and couldn't get them in a reasonable amount of time. So I figured out this lovely trick of failing to jump over them with Iceman's ability, but they freeze, so if you can time the shot right when they are in their big jump, then, you know, that's the way to do it. These flames, you can freeze these lovelies too, and it can make it look like a piece of cake like that. Honestly, I struggle with that part a lot, because it's the timing of getting the ice to make the fire just the right size. If it's not quite the right size, then you just can't make the jump. And there's a couple times where, you know, I just couldn't make that jump, period, even if I had everything going for me. Which is hilarious, and you'll probably see in the montage at the end. So, I believe in the first section of Dr. Wily's stage, I spent roughly 2 to 2.5 hours just trying to get through this one level. One part, the first part of Dr. Wily's stage. I believe there's 4 or 5 parts to it. But just this one part took me that long. Mostly because I was trying to do the boss at the end of this legitimately and gave up. Not to mention things like these guys who move randomly. Oh my goodness. There are times, like currently, oh my goodness, it's so slow and annoying because the guy won't move. It does this at random. It does absolutely random, left, right, up, down. Will potentially move to whatever, but yeah, no, now it looks like it's gonna work. And there's times where they can be just out of range for an almost indefinite amount of period, and that's why I got the little M platform thing out, so that I could just say, alright, let's just go, because this is taking too long. But just going through that constantly, so many different times over, you will see a absolute ton of deaths from this one level alone in Dr. Wily's, or excuse me, in the death montage at the end. So, you know, looking back on this series and wondering, you know, why I edited everything, it's pretty bad. The amount of deaths and the amount of time that it took to get through this stage, as well as many other stages, yeah. It's a good thing that I edited it all out. So this is Yellow Man. I cheated. Used the well-known pause cheat. I honestly didn't even know there was a pause function in this version of Mega Man, but there is, and that's how easy it is to defeat him. Pause a few times, and he's gone. I apologize. I really, really wanted to do this legitimately, but after 2 hours plus, eventually I just go. It's not worth it. I don't want to invest the time in it. I'm not a Mega Man specialist by any means. I just want to have fun and play the games that I choose to play. So, now we get to play with the bosses that we've already fought before. We have abilities and strengths, but Cutman, to me, was still easier with the original Mega Buster. I tried using a couple of the other robot bosses' abilities against him. In all honesty, that was really easy. and everything else just seemed to make it a little more complex. There wasn't anything that just like killed him in one hit or 3 hits, so that was easy enough for me. But yeah, you see there's no ladder, there's no nothing, it's just kind of like falling through the scenery, which is funny to me. It's kind of hilarious how like Bomb Man and Gutsman stages are shorter than everybody else. Here we are on the second part of Dr. Wily's, and they're just kind of like, who needs ladders? Who needs little holes here or anything like that? And just fall through nothing. You know, it makes perfect sense to me. It's, you know, kind of like they were. You know, it's weird to think back in 1987 that people might rush things or cut corners, but it's just kind of funny to me that they did that. There's no hint or explanation of that anywhere else in the game that I'm aware of. I mean, I could very well be mistaken, and that is a hint that somewhere in one of the previous stages there's something that you can get by just going through the scenery. But you never know. So here we are, almost done with this part. These guys are still annoying, and I'm 100% sure that there are easier ways to defeat these guys, but nonetheless, I struggled, to say the least, with them in such a small, compact area. Oh yes, Cutman's ability. It's a nice try. So yes, you can see me attempting different things because I just didn't want to deal with it. Yay! I figured it out. Because they just keep coming. It's fun. It's nice level design. It's a nice way to do this, and it's like, well, hey, you can go down here, you're gonna get hit, or you can try to figure out how to get this. And you know, that was me trying different things. Here's Cutman, nope, that didn't work. And here's Electman, hey, that works perfectly. Let's just do that. Then we got this one last little bit. Bam. And now for a incredibly fun boss. It is a doppelganger. Dun dun dun. But I tried doing this legitimately too, but I cheated. I apologize. I most definitely could have done this not having to do this too, but you know, remind me of a cheat by almost forcing me to use it, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to use that. I'm sure if I even remembered this existed, I would have used it previously, but honestly, I was just really tired. I know that's the crappiest excuse in the world, and I apologize. But my goodness, I struggled with Dr. Wily's stage for so long, and honestly, I think the main deal with that is that I didn't get here a lot of times on the old NES system, because there's no saves, there's no nothing. If you want to, if you wanted to pause your game for a long period of time, I mean, it literally meant unplugging it from the TV so that you could plug back in the cable so you could watch TV while this paused and was on. And it just wasn't worth it at the time. So I think I got to Dr. Wily's stage at the very first part several times. I honestly can't remember if I actually got through the whole game or not. I'm pretty sure I did at one point. Like I just, you know, annexed the TV at one point. But, you know, it was a different world back then. Not everybody had, 15 TVs and monitors and cell phones and stuff like that. It just didn't exist back then. There was a TV, and using it meant that other people couldn't use it. And me being an only child granted me quite a few privileges in that aspect. I didn't have to share it with brothers or sisters, but I still had to share it with my parents. So, as much as, I'm sure they completely supported me playing video games. Alright, so this was fun. There are several of these bosses. The big blocks in the center of the screen are just a big identifier. Hey, Gutsman's ability will work great here, but these guys get faster for each one. You kill one, the next one gets faster, so on and so forth. And there's 7 of them. So it's easiest to just kill the first 3 with your regular gun, and then as they get super fast, use the thing that kills them instantly. Which took me a few times to figure out, but once I figured out, piece of cake. So, this is it for this episode. The finale is next, so appreciate your time. Thank you so much.